In order to show login success or failure messages, we add a new then into the promise chain before we attempt to parse the body. First, we check for the success criteria. If the HTTP status on the response is in the 200 range, we deem it as a success and pass the response onto the next then in the promise chain. On the other hand, if it wasn't successful, we first check to see if it's a 401 and then throw an error with the message that bad credentials were provided. If we reach this point, we're unsure of what happened, so we throw an unknown error. We throw errors at this point because we want the promise chain to skip the next thens and go to the error handler. We specify this error handler by hooking up a catch here. For now, we just log the error out to the console. We use finally in the end to specify that the loader should stop displaying. Finally will always execute whether we experienced an error or not. It's a good place to put logic that you always want to execute. I see I made a mistake over here where we check the response for bad credentials. I need to check for the HTTP code on the response and not compare against the response itself. Okay, so now when we try and log in with the wrong credentials, you can see that we correctly identified the bad credentials response coming back from GitHub. Doing this allows us to display the correct message to the user, as we don't want to tell the user that the wrong credentials were provided when in fact something else went wrong. Back in the editor, we rip out these throw statements here and refactor the code to return an object literal with fields containing which error was experienced. You'll see why I'm doing this shortly, just bear with me. In the error handler, we set this error directly onto state. Remember, setState takes an object containing keys and values that it needs to record. This means that after this call, we've got state variables that we can use in our view to tell the user what's going on.